You went to a memory, and how many of you noticed when you went there, you felt it? Isn't that true? And it was probably pretty strong, correct? All right, let's check it again. Go back there again. The question is, did it lessen? That's true, isn't it? Who changed it? You did. Now here's something. Did you know that you can take memories and you can adjust the color to the memory and it changed the meaning of it? How did you change the meaning? You just adjusted the knob and all of a sudden the picture in your mind changed, didn't it? Did you not take the picture and push it further away? All of a sudden the sensations in your body changed? Isn't that true? And then you adjust it where it was like an old picture. I said strike the match. Put it underneath the picture. Watch it burn away. Take a deep breath and blow it away. All of a sudden you're telling your mind what? I'm taking control now. And then as you go back, and I said, and there's something really that I want to make sure that I also have you do. After we burn it away, what did we do then? We stepped into what? A good memory, a happy memory. So what you did to your brain, you said, brain, I don't want this, I want this. Did that memory change? In your mind, did it lessen? I see heads shaking all over the place. Let's say, for example, it didn't change. What do? You do something else. You figure out how you internally process the problems. Okay, so does that make logical sense? How does the soul communicate to you? It speaks to you with pictures. It speaks to you with feelings. Now the amazing part about the soul is it's a generator of dynamics, feelings and emotions. And guys, when I say think of a dog, think of a dog. You got one? Think of it. Guess who put the dog picture in there for you? Isn't it amazing it used your dog and not mine? That's the amazing part. Oh, you want my dog? Okay, it's a Great Dane, about this big. Her name's Lady. White spot right here, white socks and white socks on the back, and a white tip on her tail. Lady. All right, now you can have my dog. But you know what's interesting? What kind of dog was it? All right, you know, black. Oh, see, notice I said dog, and all of a sudden, what did you start feeling in? You put your own color in. Was it black for most of you? No? Brown? All right, guys. Now here we're talking about the same concept, aren't we? What are we doing? We're giving it what? Our own meaning. Now, how many of you done this? You have brothers and sisters, you're all sitting around the table, dining room, living room, outside under the tree, and one of them starts talking about an experience you had. And as they tell this experience, you go, it didn't happen that way. It didn't happen like that at all. Isn't that true? Is that the same exact experience? Absolutely. You know what the difference is? Internal processes, internal stuff. You start giving the meaning. Where does the meaning come from? It comes from deep within you. It knows how to produce whatever it is you internally produce. So would you like to... Hey, sweetie. All right. I got diverted with that cute girl walk in. She has been to many seminars. All right, guys. So where am I? I said, a cute girl walk in. My mind goes foggy. What happens here? I should replay that often, huh? All right.
Processing on family members.
That's right. Our internal process. All right, guys. All right. So would you like to learn more about how your brain works? Would you like to learn how to change the images in your mind? I mean, seriously. All right. So let's do this. I discovered that it's impossible to feel good and bad at the same time. You know why it's impossible to feel good and bad at the same time? Because whatever you focus on, that point of focus, your body responds to that right then. That doesn't mean that you can think of a happy memory and then drift over into feel bad. I mean, there's some people who are really good at destroying good memories that way. You realize that? I mean, I want to draw that because If you wonder why you start thinking about good things and you have this great skill and ability to ruin good memories, I'll show you how this happens. All right. Here you go to this great memory. And as you go to this great memory, you start to remember. And as you remember, you start to imagine, you see the pictures, you start to feel as if you were there, and all of a sudden these good feelings, and they're like a 10. And you're just there. All of a sudden you start to think, yeah, but he ran away with my friend. They died. They're no longer here anymore. So what you're doing inside of us, every experience, every person who comes into our life comes with gifts. That means you may have a wonderful experience with your mother, and you also may have bad experiences with your mother. Inside you, you have this great resource of memories. Now the cool thing is, if you know how to change the memories and the emotional charge to the negative memories, and you keep all the good memories handy, guess what? It's going to be hard to do. Feel bad. Okay? So this is what most people do. They'll go to this memory with mom, dad, ex-husband, ex-wife, whatever, and then as you step in, you say, oh man, that was such a great time. And you start to feel and generate those emotions and feelings inside. And how does that happen? The unconscious, or the soul, the deepest part that knows how to create, starts to generate these feelings automatically without you even knowing what it's going to do. And then it starts to generate this, and then you start, yeah, but. So what else happened with this? Oh yeah, then you start to drift over into this bad memory. And the bad memory is something that didn't happen here. It could have happened 20 years later. And so you drift down to the BM. Do you hear what I'm saying? And then, you know what happens? Oftentimes, we'll build a camp around this one. And then we'll try to find other experiences to support this, and guess what? You're negating the good memory. And you know why you do that? I'm looking at teachers in here. I'll tell you why. Because when you was a little boy or a little girl, and you sit in this desk, and at that time it was a huge desk, but at 5 or 4 or 6, now looking at it, I can't believe I was that small. But as you're sitting in this desk, that learning machine, that dynamic machine that's working on your behalf all the time, they set this task before you, which, by the way, was insurmountable. It was huge. I mean, can you imagine at 5, 6, 7 years old trying to memorize? They lied to you guys. 26 letters of the alphabet. Now you think about it. You're that little and you're going to have to memorize 26 letters. What they didn't tell you that there are 26 capital letters you had to memorize. They didn't tell you there was also 26 small letters you had to memorize. Isn't that true? And then not only that, you had to figure out how to accumulate these words and to organize these words into saying a name. Concepts and ideas. Now I was in school. I didn't even know what my name was other than Robert. And if somebody wrote on a chalkboard, I didn't know, but that day I was lucky. That day she wrote R-O-B-E-R-T on the chalkboard. She said, Robert, this is your name. Put it right here on this piece of paper. And they gave me this big fat pencil with a lid in it. Write it on there, and I'm turning this paper, trying to make it look just right. She came over and said, you can't move that paper. I said, okay. Right? Now here's the amazing part. You didn't realize at that point in time that that inner part of you was doing things for you. It was making images in your mind of what an R was, a capital R was, and what a little r was. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was little, back then, I got the D, the little d, and the little b mixed up. I kept getting them confused. Did you do that too? But see, inside of the brain, this dynamic force was creating the pictures, which, by the way, today, if I said write your name, you don't even think about how to write your name. But here was the big problem that began to occur. When they handed that paper back, you know what they did only in red? What you did wrong. Then all of a sudden you become an expert at finding everything wrong. Because somehow we thought if we knew what was wrong and we kept looking for what was wrong, we would make less wrongs. Isn't that true? Of course, the law of attraction says what? The more wrong you hold in your life, in your mind, in your world, in your thoughts, guess what you get? And you're driving everywhere and you're looking for what?